How much does hypnotherapy cost?
How much does hypnotherapy cost? Well, again, that will vary from one hypnotherapist to the next. It's going to depend on their location, on their experience, on how quickly you expect to get the results. Currently in my own practice, I charge £180 per hour.
Okay. What is hypnosis?
All hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and what I mean by that is what a hypnotherapist does is he or she gives people instructions to think about things, to imagine things in a particular way. And if you follow those instructions, you will go into what's termed a hypnotic trance state.
Sorry. Mark's in his office.
Yeah, that's quite noisy, isn't it? That's going to be picked up.
He does it once a day around 3 o'clock normally. Let's go. Not you.
Maybe wait a moment.
A big broom to band.
Yeah.
Okay. What is hypnosis?
What is hypnosis? All hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and what I mean by that is what I do is I give people instructions to think about things, to imagine things in a particular way. And if you follow those instructions, you will go into what's termed a hypnotic trance state. And if you don't follow the instructions, then nothing happens. It's an altered state of consciousness from the point of view that it's different from the everyday state of mind, yet at the same time it's something which most of us experience regularly on a daily basis. So for example, if you've ever read a book, watched a film, seen a play, and been so carried away with it, it's almost like you're there, you're a part of it. That's a hypnotic state. If you've ever been so absorbed in a task of work of some kind that you become oblivious to everything else around you because you're so focused in on that one thing, that again is a hypnotic state. If you've ever driven or walked somewhere and when you get to where you're going, you think, how did I get here? You've forgotten the journey because you've been off in a daydream somewhere. Highway hypnosis is quite a common experience. And the point I'm trying to make is that the hypnotic state is a natural state of mind. It's something which we all drift in and out of on a daily basis, regularly. What's different in a therapeutic setting is that the hypnotic state is induced to help you to achieve goals, whatever they may be.
Ready to go again? What is hypnotherapy?
Hypnotherapy is the therapeutic use of hypnosis. So when you go into that lovely, relaxed, focused state, which is the hypnotic state. In fact, Milton Erickson, one of the most famous and successful American hypnotherapists of the 20th century, described hypnosis as a single pointed focus of attention. So once you're in that relaxed, focused state, then you can use that state in order to help you to achieve goals, overcome problems, overcome difficulties. So hypnotherapy is the therapeutic use of hypnosis. Did I repeat the question that time, or did I forget?
Did you say hypnotherapy is?
I don't think I said what is hypnotherapy. But is that important? Do we need to do that again? I don't know.
No. Chris, just say something to remind you to put the question. To just say what that question was for the last take.
What is hypnotherapy?
Okay, just say for the last take so you know what. Can you hear your voice normally when you're playing this?
It's fine, I'll pick up all that.
Okay.
What is the difference between hypnosis and hypnotherapy?
What is the difference between hypnosis and hypnotherapy? Well, hypnosis is often a relaxed and focused state which could or may not be used for therapeutic purposes, whereas hypnotherapy is the therapeutic use of the hypnotic state.
How can hypnosis help stress?
How can hypnosis help stress? Well, one of the reasons that people feel stressed is because they're worried, they're anxious, they're overthinking things. just going into a hypnotic state, a guided hypnotic state, which is a similar experience to going into a meditative state, helps you to relax. And as soon as you start relaxing, then your stress levels are going to go down. Hypnotherapy itself can also help you resolve the underlying reasons as to why you might be feeling that stress in the first place. So you combine those two things together, an actual technique which helps you to relax, plus resolving the underlying reasons to why you're feeling stressed in the first place, the stress disappears.
What is the subconscious mind and how does it work?
I'm going to rephrase that if that's okay. So what is the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind? So the conscious mind is what we're thinking about consciously at any given moment. The subconscious mind is what is below the surface. So what is conscious one moment becomes unconscious at the next, and then what was unconscious then becomes conscious. So for example, if you imagine you're in an exam and you read the question on the exam paper, suddenly the answer emerges from your unconscious mind, and you can write down the answer, and then afterwards that information goes back into the unconscious or the subconscious mind again. Because if everything that we knew was at the forefront of our mind, which was consciously there all the time, we'd be going crazy. It would just be overload. It would be too much. So the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, is a way for us to manage our information, our experiences. So another example would be, for example, if you were sitting in a bar with an old friend and they said, oh, do you remember so-and-so? And maybe you hadn't thought about that person for a really long time. And as they mention the name or the experience, suddenly from their unconscious mind, that memory rises up again and they become conscious of it.
How to cure phobias with hypnosis?
How can you cure a phobia with hypnosis? Well, phobias are fears, and when we feel fear, we often feel it for a reason. There'll be a reason, often a good reason, why someone felt that fear in the first place. Phobias can be one-time learning experiences. So you might have one bad experience and that can create the phobia, or it could be a slow build-up of lots of different experiences. So a typical example of a one-time learning experience could be someone opens the cupboard, the spider scuttles across and they get a big fright like this, and that's where the phobia begins. Or it could be that you see one of your parents or a teacher screaming when they see the spider, and you learn as a child, even though that you weren't frightened of it yourself, you learn that that's a scary thing because you see someone that you trust and respect getting really frightened about something. So that's how the phobia begins in the first place. And the way that hypnosis or hypnotherapy can help you to resolve that problem is to get a different perspective on it. So when you see it in a different way, understand that experience in a different way, then it's no longer frightening. So I think I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to have to start that again, actually. I think I was answering that quite well, actually, until okay, I'm just going to do it again. I'm just going to do it again. All right, so I just want to think about how I'm going to